See, the problem with you and people like you when you're trying to point fingers at other people is that you always lump up your particular disgust for a certain part of them for the actual person. And that is all they are to you. You don't see a human being in front of you. You just see a particular type of behavior that you don't agree with. Or you see a particular character trait or a certain part of themselves that you don't agree with. Much like a racist looks at a black person and doesn't see a human being, they just see their blackness. Or should I say, they just see the extra melanin in their skin, since we're not actually black. There is no human being with actual black skin. Just as there's no human being with actual white skin. But you equate them with the trait that you personally don't like. And that trait is enough for you to demonize them, to not see them as human beings. Now, of course, you will jump up and down as you've done before to say, oh, I respect them. Bullshit, you don't. The fact that you are willing to champion other people making legislation that F's with their private lives simply because of who they are and the fact that you don't agree with a certain aspect of them says a lot about what you really think about these people. People who have a hatred for or a major dislike for another group of people will always try to find ways to limit what they do in any way, shape, or form, even if that person isn't doing anything at all to them. How many times have you seen other people who, when they're around someone they don't like and that person just happens to be in the room, sooner or later they'll find some type of excuse to go, what are you doing here? Why are you bothering me? The person's just sitting there. What are you here for? What's your agenda? You find a lot of irrational people like that when they're around other people that they can't stand. And then later on they'll excuse their behavior. I wasn't doing anything if that person just wasn't there harassing me. That's you and people like you. And it really doesn't reflect well on your particular religion when people like you use it to suit your own ends. Your problem with homosexuals is simply that you just find their particular sexual preferences disturbing or disgusting in some way. Okay, that's fine considering that these type of things don't float everyone's boat. For homosexuals, the type of sex that we heteros like doing doesn't exactly, turn them on either. That's why they're homosexual. But they're not going out of their way to limit what we do in our private lives. Just as us allowing them to do what they want in their private lives as long as it's not hurting anyone else would go along with the spirit of American values when it comes to the pursuit of happiness, which is something that you and people like you don't want at all. You are so uptight and so upset when you see other people you can't stand enjoying themselves in a way that you personally don't like. This pathological hatred that you have is disturbing on so many levels. You can try your best to equate everything they do with the fall of mankind, but it only shows just how far your hatred goes when you realize that this is just who they are. They're not hurting anybody, and they're not shoving anything down your throat nearly as much as you want to claim they are. People just who want to get married to the type of people that they're interested in has nothing to do with your life whatsoever. It's not like they're inviting you to go to the marriage ceremonies, nor are they trying to, force you to do the same things they do. They just want to be able to do what they want in peace, without anybody fucking with it. You messing with these people and trying to find ways of limiting their particular freedoms just because of your own dislike of what they do is akin to, let's say, me getting pissed off at guys driving around with oversized wheels and stupid rims on their car, which is something that does annoy the hell out of me, by the way. Whenever I see a guy driving by on a car with wheels way too freaking big for the damn thing and stupid-ass rims spinning on it, I look at this person, especially when he comes out of his building, and I'm thinking, that's money that could have paid your rent. And you spent it just to make your car uglier. What the fuck? But you know what? I'm not going to walk up to the dude and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the hell are you doing that for? That's what makes him happy. And it's not hurting me, so what's the point? Sure, we can make an argument that it probably is hurting him, but that's him. That's his life. Let him be. I find that the people who truly want peace tend to think that way. The people who want to dominate are those who are like, nah, we got to change that. We have to change him. that speaks volumes about your character and the people who you support and the people who support you. And there is no way in hell I can possibly look at that and go, oh, that's righteous. That's why I don't have any respect for you. I don't. And just in case you go, oh, that's no big deal, consider that there are other Christians who I've dealt with in PMs and in comments who I had disagreements with, but I have a lot more respect for them than of you. Because even when we're having disagreements, let's say on the subject of their theology or the particular what they believe on evolution, the way they communicate to me, the attitude they present, shows that despite the disagreements, they're still looking at me as an actual human being. And they're talking to me like an actual human being. And the way they interact with other people shows that they have a concern for other human beings. You do not. You see other people as objects. As long as they don't fit your particular worldview, they're an obstacle that must be cleaned out in some way. And it shows. No matter how much you try to deny it, it shows. What's even more sad is the amount of damage that you're doing to the religion that you so, you claim to support so much. People like you leave an ugly stain on the faith that you profess. I know there are other people who will say that it's the religion that's causing you to be this effed up, but I honestly think it's just that you're a messed up person to begin with, and the religion is just something you hide behind. The religion isn't what's making you act this way. It's just that you yourself are a miscreant. There are plenty of people like you. We've seen them all the time. And I've seen too many examples of other Christians, other, truly spiritual Christians, truly well-meaning Christians who just want to make the world a better place. I've seen too many examples of those types for me to believe that it's your religion that's making you like this. Now, you were pretty much messed up before you decided to take up the cross. This is who you are. This is why people hold you in disdain. And I don't think that anything that I'm saying here, by the way, is going to change your mind on that. You probably, as you're listening to these words, are already gearing up to make a video in response that's going to send me down in flames or put me in my place without actually thinking about what the words I'm actually telling you. You won't even begin to put your, just step away from the computer screen for a second and just think about, what am I doing? Why is he saying these things to me? What is it that I'm exhibiting? Any other human beings, even if they disagree with the words, they will at least stop and think, why is this person saying this to me? What am I doing that's making this person think this about me? But we know you're incapable of doing that. And that's, again, why I have a problem with you. In fact, I have so much of a problem that it turns my stomach to see my name associated with yours. The fact that if somebody types down the name Sword Sage, they're going to see you. And you're the type of person who, quite frankly, I wouldn't even want around my children because of the slimy nature you have. Your soft-spoken demeanor and how well you articulate does not mean that your character is anything pure at all. It's just a shield. It's just a mask you hide behind. It's funny how you jump on about, oh, I won't allow cursing, and how many of your followers are like, people who curse, it just shows that they're bad behavior. But curse words and, vulgar language doesn't really tell you much about the person or the message that they're trying to convey. But I've seen many people with sweet honeyed words say some truly vile things. It's the message that counts, not the words being used. It's not the package. Kind of reminds me of Jesus' line about, the hypocrites are like whitewashed tombs, pretty on the outside, but full of rotten bones in the inside. Style over substance. It's interesting to me how a lot of fundamentalist Christians like you love to champion the statement Paul made that it's only your belief in Christ that will have you be saved. It's not your deeds that matter. And yet I find that the Christians, the ones who are truly spiritual, the ones who I really think show the best of their religion, are the ones who feel that it's their deeds that count. You will know a tree by its fruits, and yours are rotten indeed. This is why you don't get much respect from people like me. because we can see your fruits. And no matter how much you try to hide behind your peaceful looking facade, we know it's a lie. We can see it. Just because you're hiding behind other people who think like you doesn't mean it isn't so. And that's why I have little respect for you. You really want a war with me? Please.